You can start with a close-up of the socks. Okay, don't start with a close-up of socks. Steve just told me he's wearing his freedom of speech socks. Are they special socks?
They are special socks. So they have different book titles here. And then these are all books that have been banned. So this is the...
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Top that. Didn't think you could. This is Steve, this is Brenda. They're both from Google. Steve works in the US office, one of the US offices. Brenda works in the UK in London. Radio and Google, what is the connection? Where is the connection and how is it developing, Steve?
Well, I think the Assistant is really a device that's meant to delight and entertain people when their eyes and hands are busy. That has been the role of radio for 100 years. But the Assistant you can talk to. And so to make the best experience possible, we need all of the broadcasters who are here to begin to experiment with us in building this new interactive storytelling universe.
See, I'm sure a lot of broadcasters are worried now because you were speaking there as if it's going to replace radio. You said radio was the friend and now it's the assistant, but that's not the case because you want it to be a platform which the radio can stream and flow through.
That's absolutely right. And also, radio is just sort of an FM signal, but storytelling, and listening to stories is as old as humanity.
Yeah, I think a lot of broadcasters ask the question, why are technologies companies obsessed with us all of a sudden? Like, what happened? And the truth is, in the last couple of years, artificial intelligence and machine learning have made it so that automatic transcription is so quick and so reliable that effectively, with enough computing power, you can treat an MP3 file like a piece of text on the internet, and you can index it and rank it and use all the news ecosystem that exists online to do that. So with machine learning, we've sort of unlocked this medium that's been not discoverable for a really long time.
And we can make search work for
make
audio.
Search work, yeah. And it is true that the focus has been on video for so many years, and I think radio and audio felt like they were kind of the forgotten younger brother or sister. So why this reinterest now? Is it because you have these new devices that would really suit and match the content?
Sure, and I also think that there's a growing recognition in tech companies, or at least at Google, just how big the listening audience is. I mean, if you look at total engagement with radio in the United States, terrestrial radio today, it's above 90%, and people spend more time listening to the radio than they do on Facebook. It's this enormous audience people haven't paid attention to because it's been difficult to reach them digitally. But with the advent of the smartphone and being able to, plug your smartphone into Bluetooth in your car, all of that changes. We can have really interactive audio experiences when you're running, when you're walking your dog, when you're driving to work, when you're cooking. All of those use cases are digitally accessible today, and they weren't just 5 years ago.
Will we see a model like what Netflix and Amazon have done for television and Hulu, where they're creating a lot of the content now and beating traditional broadcasters? Will we see Google radio stations pop up, Google radio stars?
I don't think that Google's going to get into the content creation business, but I do think digital companies are. And you can see that with what Spotify just did by buying Gimlet. So, I'm not sure any of us really know how exactly this is going to play out. What Google is focusing on today is connecting great broadcasters to listeners more effectively and efficiently and frictionlessly, if that's a word, as possible, right?
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
Frictionlessly, less. Brenda, what is the most exciting thing for you? Let's say when you look at 5 years down the line, what do you think the audio world will look like with the help of Google?
So I don't think radio is going anywhere. The busier we are, the more that we sort of resent having to look at screens all day. I don't think people resent having to listen to content on their Google Home or on their smart speakers or on their phone or even, their FM traditional radio signal. It feels like it's time that's really well spent, and that's because of the content creators that spend so much of their time and energy making beautiful things for us to listen to.
Well, it's fascinating, and I wish you the very best of luck with it. To Brenda, to Steve, and the freedom of speech socks as well, of course, and all of us here in Radio Days. Thanks for watching.